Hello again. Today I have 10 free resources that you can use in your English language classroom. These will be specifically focused on games and young learners. So let's get straight into it. First one, we have ABCya. To have access to all the materials, you will need to pay for a subscription, but you do have access to 6 free resources every single week. And the one from this week I find particularly helpful if you are teaching young learners whose first language has a different alphabet. For example, you can trace the letters, which can be very, very helpful to develop basic literacy. And this is quite good also if you teach other subjects. For example, this one for math I found very entertaining and I played for a bit. So you won't find a lot that you can use, but you will still find good things. So keep an eye on it every single week, I'd say. Baamboozle is one of the classics for me. I've been using it for years. I'm gonna be honest with this, I'm a bit lazy in the sense you have the possibility of creating your own resources, but I don't. Because there's just a lot of very good stuff already out there. So to save time, I just, when I'm planning my lessons, look for one that works for me. I will usually use it to revise grammar or instead of one of the exercises in class. It's fun, it's engaging, it creates a bit of competition, which is healthy, and you have different settings. I usually go for the one with the power-ups because it keeps them on their toes a bit more. Overall, I think this is great as a flexi stage to practice grammar, and there's just so much. Just make sure that they're okay, because sometimes you do find mistakes. It's materials created by other teachers, you know, so it can happen. We have Blooket. Blooket is similar to Kahoot. So you can create quizzes, but you can also use other people's quizzes, which is always a good thing. Again, we're trying to save time. This will really help. Usually, teachers who teach kids love this one. I've heard so many good things. I tend to stick with Kahoot usually, which we'll talk about, but this is another option, and I don't think it's as good as Kahoot, but you have options. ClassDojo is great if you're looking for free resources to use with young learners specifically. You can also create your online class, and this is kind of like this online environment that you create with your students that you can add, and then you can send them reminders, you can create quizzes. It's this huge online space for you. I've never used this part, but they do have a lot of resources that you can access for free. So again, if you are trying to save time planning, if you don't want to create your own resources, here you will find a lot of very interesting things. They're already made, so all you need to do is download the PDF, print it if it's face-to-face, and you're done with saving time, which is absolutely great. Then we have EdPuzzle. You will have access to resources created by other teachers, but you can also create your own. You can create quizzes, you can create videos with embedded questions, projects, you can upload videos. So you do have quite a bit that you can do with this tool. And I think it's quite good. A lot of these tools are kind of similar. So what I would say is give it a try and see which one is the most useful for you and the one you feel comfortable with, because it's also a matter of habit. For example, I'm used to Kahoot. I would choose Kahoot over Blooket, but you never know. So your choice, but you have options. EducaPlay is a lot of fun. You can do so many different things with this one, and it's to create games, which is fantastic. I love the frog one that jumps, and the great thing is that AI will create it for you, but then you can go back and edit it, which is what I did. Again, I was not convinced with some of the options, so I went back and I edited them. That's the thing about AI. Always think critically, always double check, because we don't want to make life more difficult for our students because we didn't really check the questions. But this, really good. I'm a big fan of gamification. You also have other materials created by teachers, which is always good, but it's quite quick to create these games. So you have crosswords, find a word, literally so many different options that you can access for free. If you've ever played Jeopardy, this one is for you. The website is called Factile, and you can create your own Jeopardy game. Stuff like this, in my experience, works really well in class, because you add that element of competition and fun to grammar, for example. You can use this as a big revision. Imagine it's a Friday and you kind of want to do a recap of the whole week. You can create a Jeopardy for your students and play it together in class. You also have other options. It can be self-study materials. You have access to other teachers' materials. This is a recurring theme and it's something that we love because why not take advantage of that? But yeah, I think this is a very cool one, and you do have AI to help you create content if that's what you want. Usually I would say that it's so specific that AI will not be able to do what you want to do. But the beauty of it is once you create the materials, then you can reuse them for other classes, you know. Gimkit, kind of a similar concept with the other resources we've seen. You can create quizzes. I think this is really convenient because imagine you're teaching a class and the lesson is not going exactly how you had planned for and you need something quick. Having these websites on the go and you just look something up that you can play in class at the moment without needing to print or anything else, I think it's extremely convenient. So even if you don't use them on a day-to-day basis, I just think it's good to have them in your toolkit. I need to talk about Kahoot. Kahoot is the classic. When I did my CELTA, it was literally the first game that my tutors mentioned, and I've been using it ever since. Here I do a mix. I create my own Kahoots, which I always prefer, but again, sometimes I'm lazy and I don't want to do that, so I just go and look for ready-made ones. You have access to so many different Kahoots and resources, which is great, but same thing applies. I find mistakes in them quite often. You do have the option of editing them, and I would suggest take advantage of that. So yeah, always check them before you play, if you're playing someone else's Kahoot. But overall, it's good. And for young learners specifically, there's this option to play, which makes it more collaborative because they get messages and they need to talk to each other and then do things, but also answer the questions. I had kids asking me to play this all the time. So this is an option instead of playing like the basic one, which is classic mode, which is still very good, but yeah. And it doesn't have to be only 4 options. It can be true or false, type, rearrange the order. So there's a lot you can do with this. And the last one is Learn English by the British Council. This is a classic. It's great because you have everything. Grammar and vocabulary, listening, spelling, games, PDFs to download, ready-made resources, online, offline. There's so much stuff that you can use, and these are quite good overall, I would say. I wouldn't say you have a whole lesson. It's not a lesson plan, but to find activities that work well, this is a safe option. Okay, that was everything for today. I have so many resources, so there will be more parts to this. But meanwhile, let me know in the comments if there's anything that you think I've missed, if there's a specific resource that you want me to talk about and to test in the next videos, and if there are other topics that you would be interested in and want me to make a video. And please like, share and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Thank you. Bye bye, see you next week.